Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. In the year 2000, Joel and Ethan Coen intrigued us with a satirical comedy drama musical film that they wrote, produced, co-edited, and directed. The movie was called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It stars John Turturro, George Clooney, and Tim Blake Nelson, with supporting roles from Chris Thomas King, John Goodman, Holly Hunter, and Charles Durning. The narrative of the movie unfolds in rural Mississippi during 1937, with it centering on 3 escaped prisoners in pursuit of a concealed treasure, while all the time being relentlessly pursued by a hollowed-eye sheriff. The story serves as a contemporary satire that, while reflecting social aspects of the American South, draws a loose inspiration from Homer's ancient Greek epic, The Odyssey. Furthermore, the project's title alludes to the 1941 work by Preston Sturges of the movie Sullivan's Travels, in which the main character is a filmmaker aspiring to create a movie that's entitled Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?, which is a film that involves a fictional narrative set against the backdrop of the Great Depression. I just recently did a video on Sullivan's Travels, and I'll link that in the description of this video. In interviews, the Coen brothers say that they started out writing a story about 3 escapees who were trying to get home. But as they continued writing it, people told them that it sounded like the Greek Homer's The Odyssey. So they became intrigued by this idea and went out and bought the comic series for The Odyssey. Now you'll notice I said the comic series because they have never, to this date, read the actual Odyssey that was written by Homer. They did go on to give Homer a co-writing credit for the film. George Clooney practiced his singing for weeks and weeks in preparation for him to sing Man of Constant Sorrow. Now you have to realize that he comes from a long line of family members that are steeped in a singing tradition. When they went into the studio to record George's version, he thought he was doing great. But as he looked through the glass at the recording engineers, he noticed that no one was looking at him. In other words, they were embarrassed at what they were hearing. After his recording, they ended up telling him that they would need to dub his voice because it just wasn't up to standards. So they brought in bluegrass singer Dan Tyminski to sing George Clooney's part. Now, the one actor in the film that we do actually hear his real voice is that of Tim Blake Nelson when he sings in The Jailhouse Now. After he finishes singing, George Clooney's character begins singing again and also dancing. He based the dance that he was doing on dances that he had seen when he was growing up by clog dancers, where their upper body stayed still and their legs just went crazy. While Clooney was filming 3 Kings in Arizona, the Coen brothers showed up to ask him if he would be interested in taking on this role of Ulysses. They laid the script on Clooney's hotel room table, and the actor, without reading it, immediately said, "I'm in." When he did get around to reading the script, he didn't immediately understand his character very well. So he sent the script to his uncle Jack, who was a tobacco farmer that lived in Kentucky. He asked him to read the entire thing into a tape recorder. Unknowingly to Clooney, in his recording, his uncle, who was a devout Baptist, omitted all instances of the word damn and hell from the Coen script. This only became known to Clooney after the directors pointed this out to him in the middle of shooting. His Uncle Jack had never been on a plane before at all, before flying to the premiere of this film. The movie was filmed almost entirely in the state of Mississippi, in towns like Vicksburg, Canton, and Mendenhall. Now, the state of Mississippi is known to have quite a few poisonous snakes, and because of this, they had a snake catcher always present during filming. The American Humane Association came unglued when they saw the cow get hit by the car. They were sure that it was a real animal that this happened to, and they demanded proof before they would allow the use of their disclaimer, which says no animals were harmed in the making of this motion picture. That entire sequence and the cow getting hit was all computer generated. After seeing the demonstration of how it was digitally done and created, the Humane Association added the now familiar but much rarer statement, "Scenes which may appear to place an animal in jeopardy are simulated." Now, one of the highlights of the film is when Pete becomes lured by the 3 sirens that are sitting on the rocks in the water. Those 3 roles are played by Maya Tate, Musetta Vander, and Christy Taylor, and they stand out as one of the most famous scenes done in the film. That's not really their voices that you're hearing, but in post-production, it was dubbed by Emmylou Harris, Alison Krauss, and Jillian Welsh. Maya Tate has been a professional actress for over 20 years, working in a variety of television and independent and major studio films, working with some pretty major stars. Christy Taylor hasn't been in as many films or TV productions as her friends, but she has worked as a production manager and producer. Musetta Vander has been without a doubt the most busiest of the 3. You've seen her in a lot of movies. She's appeared in quite a few commercials, including commercials for McDonald's, Diet Coke, Mercedes, Heineken, and even Skittles. She also got a pictorial in the magazine Maxim. This scene by the river is one of the funniest in the film and has some of the greatest dialogue along with it. This is where Delmar tells Everett that, "Can't you see what these sirens have done to Pete? They've loved him up and turned him into a horny toad." When I first started doing YouTube videos back 8 years ago, I did a lot of filming locations, and this is one of the locations I went to where this scene was shot. If you want to see that video, just type in "Landumc Goes There, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" and it should pop up. Go back and watch this classic film. This is without a doubt one of my favorite films of all time. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.